Your San Jose Barracuda tie it and lose in overtime. A painful way to lose game 3 after a great effort to get it even. We'll break this one down. We'll break out the implications of tomorrow's game 4 and a little bit more than just that. Right now, this is Barracuda After Dark here on Teal Town, USA. Good evening, everyone. It is May 6, 2025. The San Jose Barracuda lose 3-2 in overtime to the Colorado Eagles. We welcome you to this edition of Teal Town After Dark, your live interactive Sharks post game. We do this after every game, so if you want to be part of the show, chat with us and fellow hockey fans all over the world, and especially in Cuda country, on the YouTube page or the app if you're watching us live. If you're watching us on the replay, leave a comment down below on what you thought of tonight's proceedings. And of course, you can always follow us on the socials. We do gift the games on Twitter, Blue Sky, and Threads. You can find everything at tealtownusa.com. And hey, if you want to support the show, feel free to use the Venmo at tealtownusa, or you can hit us up on a super chat donation. With that being said, good evening to you. I am Puckguy alongside Mr. Kevin Lacey. And Kevin, full kudos to the Cuda making it a game where it could have been ugly early, but just comes up a little short at the end.
Yeah, good battle. Way to get back in the game. I think that for the most part, Colorado really was the better team here tonight, even more so than in game 1. I thought Colorado, home ice really helped them out. They're almost unbeatable at home, and they showed it. They were a force. They were much more physical. I mean, though they've been physical in the first 2 games, but they stepped it up in pretty much all elements of the game. And speaking of games, Edmonton has now taken a 4-2 lead. But I digress.
Wow.
Yeah, so four unanswered there. Anyway, unfortunately, the Barracuda could not get 4 unanswered and end this game before Yaroslav Askarov left, apparently due to cramps.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man.
We will talk about that a little bit later, too, because that's concerning. But, yeah.
As long as it's cramps and not a re-injury to his leg or knee that was bothering him for much of the end of this, the last stretch of the season. Yeah, that's a tough one here. This is a tough one, but I love that the Barracuda stayed in this game right to the end. Once again, my guy Pavel Regenda coming up clutch there, and yeah. But let's break it down, Eric.
Yep, let's break it down. Of course, first of at least 2, maybe 3, and even back-to-backs, which is rare in pro playoff hockey these days. Didn't start out too well. You saw, and since I have the pronunciation expert with me, this is going to be great. So, Ty Fellhaber? Fellaber. Damn it. Got things going not even 2 minutes in from Phillips and Stevens to make it 1-0 Colorado, where I think many of us were thinking, uh-oh, 2 minutes in, they're already getting their crowd pumped up into this game.
Yeah, we've talked kind of ad nauseum at this point about the Barracuda's struggles to start games in the latter third of the regular season. And, they cleaned it up quite well here in the first 4 playoff games. But to have Ty Fellaber come in and score, I mean, nice shot, short side, I believe, if I remember. It was a couple hours ago here, but a nice shot, but nevertheless, letting Colorado's top lines, control play right off the bat. Not the way you want to start, especially given you're already playing at high altitude and all that, coming off an emotional but tiring game on Sunday night. Needed a little bit more jam there at the start for sure.
Yeah. not exactly how you wanted to go, especially in altitude. So that made it 1-0. I thought they calmed down a little bit, but
Yeah. Well, Anthony Vincent took a penalty right after that, and so it's like, oh, geez. All right, this can get ugly quickly. But
I
the Barracuda PK came up pretty strong tonight. They killed off all three penalties that they took. Um, but yeah, rough go. Actually, I'm sorry. That was in the second period. There were no penalties in the first. See, told
no.
you it's been a long night.
But I thought they calmed down a little bit and got some chances early on. But I also thought Colorado was kind of dictating that first period, especially at home. It does end up, hurting them at the near the end of the period with about just under 3 minutes to go. Jason Magna gets his third of the playoffs from Ludwig and Felleber to make it 2-0. I'm sure this is one that Askarov definitely wants to have back because it just squeaks through and is left wide open on the goal line.
Yeah, one thing on that goal was Jimmy Schultz absolutely leveled Ty Felleber. So Ty Felleber gets an assist for absorbing a very punishing hit from Schultz along the boards, but it does take the defenseman out of position as Johnny Ludwig gets ready to rip a shot to the net. And I don't know if Askarov got a little distracted from that hit to his right or what. I mean, I would hope not. I would hope he'd be focused and square to the shooter, Ludwig in this case. But somehow that puck squeezed through, and then Jason Magna with a heck of a play. Puck hits the post, and then Magna dives and swats that thing home. So I got to give Magna some credit, but really unfortunate because I thought the Barracuda were pretty flat there in the first, but then you get Jimmy Schultz with that big hit. It's like, all right, here's a swing of momentum we need. Nope, it's immediately a red light in behind Askarov.
And it's gone. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
and it's gone.
11-6, the Eagles outshot the Barracuda after 20. Then a little more even period in this case, but as Kevin alluded to, they did get into penalty trouble early on. You saw Anthony Vincent taking a high sticking call. Walker Dewar with, I thought I was kind of with Drew a little bit, not as as boisterous as Drew, but he took a questionable interference call, and yes, the puck wasn't in a way, but definitely thought the ice, broke and there
It
was pool water there.
it was interference because Walker Dewar is 6 inches taller than TJ Tynan.
Yeah.
That's it. When completely incidental contact, terrible call. Hey, there's a shocker here as we're on our fifth officiating crew of the playoffs so far. Terrible calls.
Yeah. Sharks last checking in. It was a good turnout at the Calder's for the watch party. Hope
Nice.
you all had a good time up until you saw the final result. That must have been going crazy when the Cuda started making things happen. But yeah, I mean, credit to the PK. I know you mentioned it earlier, but credit to the PK as the Cuda got into a little bit of trouble there.
Yeah, they certainly did, and we've talked. I mean, we should mention the other thing that happened in the first period, and it is very much related to the penalty kill, and that is that Colin White seems to have suffered a pretty significant injury very early on in the game. I didn't get to see that, Eric, but it sounded like it was a knee on knee, maybe with his own teammate. Is that?
Yeah, I believe, and Shing was able to get it before I could, so I retweeted him
Oh,
on the
okay.
Teal Town Twitter. But definitely looked like it was friendly fire. He gets hit twice in the slot, maybe a knee from Omno. Help me,
Oh,
Kev.
Wyatt Ahmet.
Yeah, I'm overthinking that
It's
one. My
just
bad.
like Ahmed. I think
Yeah,
Nick actually calls him Ahmed.
Ahmed. Okay,
Yeah, close
and then
enough.
and then he collides with Colin Graff. So it's just a friendly fire, but yeah, it just looking at it again, it's just Graf kind of combines with him right in the middle, and it's just really devastating. And you don't see him return. to this game, and that's a huge loss for the CUDA if he is not able to go tomorrow.
Yeah, Ian and I have discussed throughout the season about how Colin White has had such an impact, and it was incredibly noticeable when he was out of the lineup for, I believe it was 17 games due to a lower body injury. And I know that he suffered an upper body injury that in the last game that he fought through and finished the game, and good to see that he was able to play here tonight, but to be injured so, in a different manner so early on, really um, set a weird tone for the team. It made Philip Beestet, who's mostly been a third line center for most of the year, although a first round pick, made him the top line center. Patrick Giles, who, we've spoken the praises of here from for the last couple of months. Patrick Giles slips or moves up to the second line with a stop chuck. Actually, I believe a
Yeah.
stop chuck may have, but um, at least Giles being a center who they had put on the wing, he can fill in a center line, a center role there. But where I was going with the Colin White injury, kind of get back to what you were saying about the PK, is it's great to see the penalty killing depth shine through when a player the caliber of Colin White comes out of the lineup, because you do, and again, Podorowski's out too, but you still have Giles, you still have Vincent, you still have Cardwell. The list goes on and on. So a great job by the penalty killing unit tonight. Glad to see that the penalties were down, even though they did take those two early on in the second. But they only took one more penalty that wasn't a match. That would be Gushchin. But yeah, 3 penalties in the first 10 minutes of the second period. But they killed them all off. And
Yeah.
then they were clean after that.
Gotcha. I don't know why I
Have you
noticed
noticed that? So I unfortunately am not seeing the chat either. Is it so it's not just me?
there's yeah, for some reason it's recording off of our lottery reaction video, and I hate to see us lose that here. That is very, very devastating here. Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's very interesting here. If I stop it, we go off the air. Um, so we'll continue on for now. It just seems very weird that happened.
All right.
Um,
While
but
you
we'll
look
go.
at that, I'm going to run through the chat that I can see a little bit. So I did see a guy and his dogs asked if Chernyshov played. Chernyshov did not play. Ethan Cardwell drew back into the lineup after missing the last game. Not sure what happened. There's a great quote right there. Yeah. So Molasses said Sheng Peng talked to Pavel Regenda, who tied the game, as we will get to. We're not losing the series. We're going to beat their ass tomorrow. And Nick talked about Pavel Regenda during, I believe it was the second intermission, or maybe it was the overtime intermission, about how, no, it was second intermission, talking about Pavel Regenda. Part of the reason he requested the trade from the Anaheim Ducks was he wanted to get some playing time in the playoffs, and he made the move up from SoCal to NorCal. We'd love to have him. I have mentioned, if you haven't caught any of the previous shows, he really does step it up. World Championship time. He's played in an Olympics, both tournaments. I think three in all as a young player. I think at the time under 22, on 23. So nice to see him get rewarded after missing the playoffs with San Diego the last 2 years. He joins us, and he has been a beast, and I love that man, and we need to bring him back. Now, some of the other comments in the chat are regarding Zach Ostapchuk, who has struggled, as we've mentioned. At least I'm not sure how the coaching staff feels about it. I haven't really heard too much, and you try not to be too negative when you're in playoff crunch time here. But Ostapchuk, has been fighting it a bit. We saw it with the Sharks as well. He did not seem to look comfortable. He was extremely reluctant to shoot the puck. I might as well cover the rest of the game, the rest of regulation, unless you want to jump in here, Eric, because I do want to get back
Yeah,
to
let's
stop
let's
shot.
get let's get back to a stop
Cool.
check in a bit, but we'll get on to a power play goal from Philip Biestedt that made it 2-1 on there. I mean, I thought the CUDA had their ups and downs the rest of the way through regulation, but
Yeah, it was a nice goal by Biestedt. Kind of, even though they were on a power play, or we were on a power play, it kind of stopped the bleeding a little bit because Colorado just came in the second and continued to control play. But as the second period went on, you started to see the Barracuda get more pucks to the net, and Philip Biestedt with that nice short side shot that I really thought Trent Miner should have had. I still am not a full believer in Trent Miner. I keep hearing these great goaltending performances that he's putting on, and I still think that the Barracuda their shot selection can be better. Miner has definitely been played well, but I wouldn't say he's been incredible by any means in this series. And that shot I thought was one that he should have had on his glove side. But the Barracuda were able to tie up the shots, or even up the shots, after being decently outshot the first half of the second. They tied it up 11-11 at that point,
yeah,
wrapping up going into the third.
right, going into the third period, you saw a 7-5 shot advantage in favor of the San Jose.
Yeah,
Uh,
Colorado definitely took a more defensive approach in the third.
and they try to lock it down and everything, but that wouldn't happen, and or it would happen up until the 1825 mark, where Kevin's boy Pavel Regenda, that's right, it's Remenda but with a G.
Oh, I was gonna make a comment about the law firm of Regenda and Remenda later on, but
Oh, I'm sorry,
nah, it's
didn't mean to
okay.
I didn't mean to steal your Wichita Thunder. um
Oh, yeah.
yeah, gotcha, but
Yeah, they
I
pulled
didn't.
Askarov for the extra man, and it paid off again.
Yeah, I didn't see it go in right away, and then we see the guys celebrating, and no light goes on or anything like that. But it was a tying goal. Looked like it went just a little bit under top shelf and in to get this game essentially into overtime.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how Giles got an assist on that, or at least the primary assist on that. I thought the shot, Giles was to Regenda's left, and I thought the shot initially came from behind Regenda, but nevertheless, pretty awesome that, a few whacks at the puck from the crease, and Regenda was able to swat it in before Giles could. So that was remarkable. At that point of the game, I saw everyone start celebrating, and I immediately looked over to the ref, waiting for them to wave it off because of the way the officiating has been in these Calder Cup playoffs so far. But nice to see that point right at the net. And Pavel Regenda with his third big goal of the playoffs.
Yes, that makes it. I mean, and he's been lights out. Heck, since the trade, I mean, it's been a great acquisition for them. Definitely been needing a nice scoring touch. Comes in clutch, big time. That gets us to overtime, and
Yeah,
then
and hang on.
oh,
And
sorry.
another thing with Regenda is he was playing on Podorowski's line, and so some of the great play that we've seen, net front presence, etc., from Regenda, was driven by Podorowski and his offensive ability. But without Podorowski, Regenda has been playing with different line mates, and again, even tonight with the lineup shuffle after White's injury, and the guy keeps producing. So you hope the Sharks take a note. I don't know if, at 25, 25 is not old. Let's not kid ourselves here. 25 is not old, but um, I'm curious to see, I hope he comes back. And if he does, I'm curious how his training camp's going to go. But I'm jumping ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Eric.
All right, then let's get to overtime. where you wonder what's going on at the 208 mark. Yaroslav Askarov goes up to center ice, talks to the officials, then he goes to the bench. It looks like he's trying to drink, get some water, get some electrolytes, some sort of something going on. The Nick and Drew say maybe it was something right leg wise, but he comes off. Gabriel Carrier, excuse me, comes in cold. Um, is this a red flag? Is this a concern?
I hope it's
Um,
not. I saw Molasses posted another quote Sheng got from John McCarthy that Askarov should be able to play tomorrow, so that's a good sign. I guess in that light, it's unfortunate that Askarov had to come off, because maybe if they had made it to the point, the halfway timeout in the period, maybe he comes back into the game. Um, he looked he looked fine. Like it didn't seem like there was too much bothering him, but it was obviously enough for him to come out of the game. Um,
yeah, that's scary to think, and you think short term that's rough. You're dealing with all the elevation and everything. Then you worry they mentioned the right leg, which was a bit of a concern near the end of the season here. But also that it happens in honestly the worst possible time for the Barracuda this season, and it's just
This was a concern. His health, we weren't necessarily convinced that he was 100% when he came back into the lineup, and he hasn't shown any ill effects, at least not in the playoffs. He did not look necessarily comfortable those last two games of the regular season that he played, but or last game, whatever it was. But in the playoffs, I thought he's been pretty strong. I know he had that game one outing, 4 goals on 18 shots, whatever. Remember, Colorado's a great hockey team. So, but yeah, real strong game two, real strong game three. But for him to come out at that point, I hope it's weird, Eric. It's like I hope whatever was going on was significant enough to pull him, because I would hate for it to be well, if your leg's bothering you, we trust in Gabe Carrier, as they should, but
right.
we trust in Gabe Carrier to buy us 5 minutes. You may not have 5 minutes in overtime to make that kind of risky change. And tonight they didn't. So it's this weird feeling of I hope they had a real reason to pull Askarov at 2:08 of overtime. Then well, he could come back. you know,
Yeah.
it's weird. We won't know. We won't know.
We won't know because at 5:02 of overtime, Matthew Phillips gets his first of the playoffs. That's the game winner, assisted by Jason Magna and Ty Felleber. I mean that line. I mean that line was the scoring
Yeah, Ty
for
Felleber. Good.
that was the line that scored. That was the line that was throwing hits and such the first two games in San Jose. Um, Cuda need to find a way to stop it.
Definitely. Yeah, Ty Felleber had 3 points on all three goals for Colorado tonight. And yeah, that was it was a one-line wrecking crew right there. A very experienced line, Magna being definitely the senior member of the team behind Tynan. So, it was a 4-on-2, which I would love to see the full extended replay of, to see how it became a 4-on-2. I did see an early comment in the chat that said that someone, maybe no, it couldn't have been Schultz, but someone, because Frisch and Hache were the two defensemen who were back on that play, so it had to have been a forward who missed a hit. I saw something about maybe it was Gushin even tried to go for a hit.
Yeah, I think
Um,
Kushin was trying to get back, and then it was a little late.
Yeah, and so the 4-on-2 really became a 4-on-1 because Hache went down, which I don't like seeing in that situation, but I get where he's like why he did it, but it kind of put him out of position. And Matthew Phillips, being a veteran goal scorer with a great shot, as we saw on that goal, had the patience to wait out Hache's slide and then shoot at the perfect time that there was no way Gabe Carriere was going to be able to see that in time with Hache's body sliding past the puck, and then all of a sudden the puck's coming right at him to the stick side. So perfect patience, perfect shot, a heck of a play, but very unfortunate for us tonight. We're on the wrong side of it. Barracuda lose 3-2.
Yeah, tough one to go out, especially the effort that they put out the last half of this game, where they honestly hung in there, bared down the storm after the first period, where it could have been really ugly. Kevin, to be down 2-0 after one, I thought they maintained their composure a lot more than I thought they had in the first two games, especially game one in San Jose. Uh, it's just it's so tough to deal with it because it's like, you do all this and then next thing you know, boom, it's gone, your momentum's gone, and you're going back to your hotel wondering, what do we do to stop this? We were so close to it and just couldn't stop it. Now you get what, 21 hours of rest before you play for your season on Wednesday.
Yeah, certainly. I really hoped that the Barracuda come out here and win tonight for obvious reasons. But being that this is a back to back as the underdog, if they could have taken this game tonight, that would have um, really taken the edge off of tomorrow night's game, because you're afforded one game. You like to close it out in four, but um, you know that the chances of beating Colorado in games 3 and 4 are pretty low. Again, given Colorado is one of the best, if not the best, home team. I thought they had the best home record in the AHL this year.
Yeah.
Um, so the Barracuda, it's gut check time. And these type of gut checks, remember, this is still a development system for the Sharks. So these are the types of atmospheres and playing conditions that these young players need to be exposed to in order to thrive when they're ready to play NHL games, because it's only going to get harder. It's like
Yeah.
Philip Beestead. I was really critical of him after game one because I thought his passing was. I think he needs to work on his passing in general, but his passes were sloppy. He was taking way too much time. And it's like, if you take it for granted that you have the time in the AHL. Well, the AHL playoffs is a lot more like the conditions of an NHL regular season game. So if you're not able to meet that pace, that's a problem. So I like the adjustments that Beestead made, especially tonight, and he got that goal. But just overall, we're going to see how this team performs. You hope they pull it out tomorrow night. You hope they pull it out in good fashion, too. They don't need to dominate, but they need to be the team deserving of winning the game tomorrow night so that they are confident going into Sunday night as everyone flies out from California on Southwest. Get ready for Sunday night's game, game 5.
Gotcha. So let me ask you, Musty comes out for this game. What did their lineup changes? Did you like them? Were you like a little? Eh.
Well, I liked it because it seems like Cardwell is healthy enough to play. So that was a concern, and we don't need any more forwards going down. And now Colin White comes out. So with Colin White coming out, very curious to see who draws in. Chernyshov and Musty are both left wings. It seems that we need a center, if for nothing else, to have more offensive drive from the pivot, because Giles has been great, but is he a top line center? Is Beast at a top line center? A
Right.
stop chuck certainly has not. Oh, that's where I was going to go with the stop chuck. Certainly hasn't shown as being capable of a top line center right now. He seems to be fighting it. Forgot after Pavel Regenda tied the game, Zach Ostapchuk had a wide open net, but he fanned. I can't remember if it went wide or over or what, but oh boy, that is the goal that kid needed. That would have been the dagger for the Eagles because there were only about 15, 20 seconds left in regulation at that point. So we're going to need to have someone step up. I'm going to need to look at the roster here real quick, which is on my other computer sitting over there. But
Goal.
Musty, yeah, I'm curious about your thought. I can get back to Musty here, but what are your thoughts, Eric?
I'm curious. I was going to say, go ahead and go get it if you need it for reference purposes. For Musty, I didn't think he was too bad. I know some people in the chat are questioning his passion for back checking when he was with the OHL, but I think Sudbury did a rough job with him, which is why he wanted to get out of Sudbury. I think I mean, if Cardwell's able to go, Cardwell's able to go. I want Cardwell in there. He's one of the guys that I think needs to be in there. That fourth line with Van Roboys and company, that needs to have an effect as well. And I thought they were fine tonight, but I think they need that little extra push. And I think you could say that with everybody. Take it to that next level because that's where you're going to be at. The worry I saw early on in the chat was with Askarov, um, which was quite interesting. I wanted your comments on it because it was just I don't know. I'm a little iffy and Hot Wheels was saying, are we really supposed to believe Askarov is ready to be able to handle number one in the NHL? You know, um,
That was the worst part about that overtime was him coming out of the net, and it happened. What you and
two
I were
minutes in.
chatting before the game ended, and what it was at 30 seconds earlier that I had said this needs to be Askarov's time to shine.
Yep.
This needs to be his moment. He needs to seize this and show that he is ready to take this game over. And he left. He's gone.
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness. I hope I didn't curse it, but like what what is exasperated is how I feel about that,
Yeah.
Eric.
It's
And so yeah, I feel comfortable that he's going to come in tomorrow night, but um
but to leave a
he
playoff
can't
game.
come out. He can't come out tomorrow night for any reason. Like if I mean, like he could come out, like if he were to be injured or whatever. But I mean, for this team to win, he can't come out tomorrow night. He needs to now prove even more so than tonight that he can get through tomorrow night's game and win this series. And so now that's going to be an additional pressure on him. Luckily, he's the most even keel player, not named Tomas Hurdle, that you could have, and so it's gut check time for him,
Yeah.
both mentally and physically.
Yeah. Because let's be honest here, you gave up a first and David Edstrom for him. You are the goalie of the future. There's no doubt about that. That's for damn sure. But now they want to see that you are the goalie of the future in here. And not saying that he hasn't shown that in many games this year, but it needs to be consistent. And your team needs you. You need to be there for your team and your teammates. You know, California Cruising asking, do you still have Dell as a backup? Um, so, and I know McCarthy said, oh, he'll be fine. He'll play tomorrow, which for a guy who's got cramps or not feeling great is really quick to come up with for an answer for that. But who would be the number 2 if Askarov isn't to go, or for that matter, if something happens to both goaltenders? Who is the e-bug? Would it be
Yeah,
Dell?
there's a lot of good comments in the chat that I'm seeing right now, all kind of relating to that. So, first off, yes, Aaron Dell is still with the team. I don't know if he flew out to Colorado, but he's still definitely on the active roster. Um, Matt Davis, though, is also apparently on the active roster, at least according to the in arena. Um, oh, no, he is actually added to the AHL roster. So he must have gotten an ATO that I missed. So, yeah, David. Actually, you know what? Matt Davis is certainly acclimated to the altitude in Denver or in Colorado, I should say, since they play in
Yes.
Loveland. So he should be right at home if they were to go that route. But I don't want to see a goalie who's never played a pro minute of hockey coming
Yeah.
into a playoff game here. But Carrier, it would be Carrier's net. I think Davis would follow behind him. And then I think Dell would be fourth. John Swenson did ask if Matt Davis could be the e-bug in this type of situation where Askarov came out of the game and Carrier had to go in. I have been wondering this myself. So I know that in international competition, yes, he could be. So most often international team will carry 3 goalies, and the 3rd goalie in the building is able to that is rostered to the team is eligible to be the e-bug. I don't think that is the case in pro hockey here at the NHL or AHL levels. I'm not sure why. I would think there would be some leeway, especially in the playoffs, and maybe there's a rule in the playoffs that does allow that. I'm just not aware either way of that. But I think that the e-bug must be an amateur goalie. Now, since Matt Davis is technically on an amateur tryout, does that slide? Maybe. I don't know. That would be an interesting way of putting that, but um, yeah, I don't think that's a possibility there, but I'm not going to say 100% on that.
Right.
But yeah, Askarov needs to play tomorrow. That's the bottom line. And I remember one of McCarthy's quotes that I think you pulled on Sunday during Sunday night show. Um, John McCarthy was talking about altitude preparation in advance of game 3, and I was just thinking, how can you do that if you are not at altitude? Like, you're 200 feet above sea level, like, in San Jose. That was just I mean, we saw it tonight. Askarov, if it truly was cramping, obviously the team wasn't prepared enough. I don't know. That's weird to me.
Yeah. Uh, Not to do this on the air. Check your mic. It seemed like it was going in and out while you were talking.
Not again.
Yeah.
All right.
Uh, but yeah, this is do or die now. Game 4 is Wednesday. It's like we said as we're recording this, less than 20 or about 20 hours away. Um, do you see a stop check coming out? Maybe you bring in a Chernyshov. Do you? I mean, I would like to have Blackwell come back. If
Colin Blackwell?
Blackwell,
Yeah, go get
why the
Colin Blackwell back.
why the hell was I thinking Colin Blackwell? Jesus criminy!
I
Yes,
mean, he's
he
not
just
doing anything with the Dallas Stars
oh
now,
my
but
god! Wow, what on earth was I talking about? Jesus, I am so sorry.
told you it was a
Uh,
long night, folks. It's been a
Ethan
long night.
Cardwell.
Yeah, I figured that's who you meant.
Well,
So
I got all my wells going.
I'm gonna
Where's
well.
I was gonna say, where's Ronald Reagan? Well, um,
Well. Cardwell, as you were talking about Musty and Chernishaw, I was looking at the center depth and just remember Podorowski's injured, Bordelow's injured, now White is injured. that is pretty devastating. And so I think the Barracuda need to move. They need to move either Giles to center. I would move Giles to center anyway and move a stop chuck to the wing. But I would probably move Ethan Cardwell back to center. He has played center previously. For the most part, he's been the wing. I think almost all this season, maybe one game at center. So it would be a little rusty for him, but I think he's if you need a 1C with some offensive bite, I think Cardwell probably should be the player who slides over, and then you have one of the wings slide up, or you put in a player again. I'm saying Chernyshov. Musty looked good, I thought, in game two. I saw a comment earlier. I think it was from a boy and his dogs or a guy and his dogs who asked about if Musty can't handle the pace. I haven't seen anything to indicate that. But Musty at the same time, he's a kid. He's still trying to get his feet under him here, and so it's a tough task to be jumping into playoff games with 2 games of pro experience, 3 games of pro experience. So he'll be fine in the long run. I'm not worried about his marketability by not being in the lineup or anything like that. He'll be good, but yeah, I'm going with Cardwell sliding into center, assuming White is out tomorrow.
Of course. Hot Wheels 84 going with the wishful thinking here. Put Celebrini in a white sweater with a full cage and see if they notice. Don't we wish?
So I'm going to use this opportunity to just answer a random question, just in case the viewers or listeners aren't aware, because a question did come up back around the trade deadline, which is why can't Macklin Celebrini and Will Smith play the Calder Cup playoffs? They don't need waivers. They should be able to come down. The bottom line is that um, players need to be on the roster at the trade deadline, the AHL roster at the trade deadline, which obviously Celebrini and Will Smith were not being sent down. Celebrini couldn't even be, or no, I guess he could have been sent down because he was a college player. So along with Smith, but yeah, that just wasn't happening. There are rules in place about the number of call-ups and reassignments. The Sharks did the old Arizona Coyotes thing of completely abusing the emergency call-up system, which is how they were able to send so many players back down. But yeah, Celebrini and Will Smith certainly were not going to be coming down to the AHL for roster purposes the way guys like Giles and Colin Graff did. There is another comment, and we've discussed this the last couple of games. It's from D. Lee. Thoughts of taking, it says taking Musty out for Hool. So I'm guessing Hool, didn't Hool play the last? No, Hool did not play the last game. Yeah, curious. I did not think Donovan Hool had a particularly strong game tonight. How about you, Eric? Did you notice any?
Nothing stood out for me. We'll just leave it at that.
Right.
So do you take that chance? I mean, it's obvious that you need something to spark a plug of this thing. But I don't know. I mean, tinkering a lot, it kind of worries me too. Even if you're facing elimination and you need certain aspects of the game.
Yeah. Another net front presence asked, isn't Graff the number 1C? Well, he was a center in college, but he has played exclusively at right wing this season. I don't think he has played any games at center this year. So, but historically speaking, yeah, he could be a center. But I would keep him at the wing. He's been really strong on that right side. I would rather see Cardwell go in there. I mean, you could put Graff, and I'm not going to complain. But Cardwell has a little bit more pro experience at center than Graff does, so that's why I'm going that route.
All right. Random question from a guy and his dogs, and then we'll start wrapping things up. What's the plan with Miskey, Nate Miskey, draft pick, one of the Sharks draft picks from last year? He's 20. I think his CHL time is up, so we get to see our 6'3", 212-pound right shot defenseman next year, or is he going to the NCAA?
Oh, I had not thought of the NCAA route at all in that situation, but that does create a different dynamic. And I also wonder the NCAA route, where would that um put the deadline for entry level contracts for these types of players? Because usually once you've turned 20, even if it's, say you draft an overager, a 19-year-old, for
Mm-hmm.
example, if they turn 20, that's the year you have to sign him. So, which is what happened with Miskey. So I believe I would need to look up on Puckpedia to double check, but I believe the Sharks have until August 15th to sign Miskey in this type of situation. Might be June 1st. I'm not sure. We're under a month. But the college route, that's a great question. Um, I'll ask Ian to see if he knows, but I have a feeling both of us are going to have to do some digging on, on the internet about that. I saw a comment from We Clubbin, but I don't understand it. So are you just
Uh,
razzing us here?
I think it's just a little Raz, but
Okay.
welcome from Utah. Utah fan here. How does it feel that Gunther and Cooley clear Smith and Celebrini?
I don't know. How many years of pro had Gunther and Cooley played, and how many years of pro have Smith and Celebrini played, and why in year one were they doing better than the former two? But I digress.
Hey, it'll be an interesting one down the road. I think
By,
Utah's
by
done.
the way, massive Logan Cooley fan right here,
Yeah,
for the record.
no, Cooley's been great. Gunther, I think, had promise. Was a little bit under the radar with the excuse me, Desert Dogs.
Oh, here we go.
Oh gosh. Okay, it's water. Don't worry. But I think he's really come on strong. Definitely with the first season in Utah. I mean, you got two awesome players. You throw in Keller in that team, and it's going to be
And
You
the
know
fourth,
what? You know what?
fourth overall pick.
You know what, Kevin? It might be Mammoth for them.
Good. That's what it should have been from the beginning. Well, I still don't know. I mean, I do know, but I thought you Coyotes would have been perfectly fine. But
I thought so
Bettman and his
too.
dream of bringing the Phoenix Coyotes back, I don't get it. But should have been Mammoth from the beginning.
Yeah.
I thought Yeti was stupid. Sorry, people, but I thought it was straight up stupid. And Outlaws is cool, but to me, that's just poor branding. And Wasatch, no,
So yeah, I
no.
think Utah Mammoth is fine. I'm surprised. I want to say the Colorado Avalanche, that sports and entertainment, Cronky Sports and Entertainment, don't they own the Colorado Mammoth of the NLL? I'm surprised there wasn't
Oh, I've
any.
already heard the complaints online about this. Like, oh, Utah's already setting up a rivalry with Colorado, trying to steal our state sports team names, blah, 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 blah. Oh, okay. All right. Actually, the name I wanted was Golden Eagles, but
Yeah,
like always, the Knights had to go and screw that one up. So,
of course.
oh, well, wait, we can't steal another Colorado sports team. The Eagles, they already got one. Oh God,
Yeah,
shut up.
yeah. All right. With that, we'll wrap things up. In case you missed anything, or you want to watch this again, because I don't think you can able to watch our draft lottery show. Check us out on tealtownusa.com or wherever you get your podcast. The audio version will be up shortly. So we thank each and every one of you for joining us there. If you're watching us on the YouTube channel, do us a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. That'll notify you when we do go on the air. You can always find us at tealtownusa.com. Kevin, your final thoughts as we get out of here. Huge must-win game 4 tomorrow.
Yeah, I think I kind of blew my final thought there earlier. I should have saved it for the end, but again, these are the types of moments that these young players in this organization need to have, and they need to be able to, maybe the Barracuda lose tomorrow night. That's fine. Maybe next year when they have this same scenario, although we would like to be ahead in the series, but if the same scenario comes up, maybe they win next year in the playoffs because they're facing the adversity now. And then that carries on and on and on through their pro careers, hopefully to the NHL. So I'm really excited for tomorrow night's game. I really hope Yaroslav Askarov makes it through with flying colors and Bobby Bones in the morning.
Oh my God. I got nothing. But make sure to check out Emily and Danny Miller throughout the day on Bay Country. So my final thought is you find a way to be 100%. We need all of you to go out. If you're not playing tomorrow, you must be really hurt. Give all you got, and then you're going to get Thursday, Friday, Saturday off to prepare for an incredible Game 5. So leave it out on the ice tomorrow. Gang, we need you. Make it happen. And as for us, we'll be back with you tomorrow night following Game 4 of Eagles and Barracuda. Eagles are up 2-1. They need one more to wrap this thing up, but the Cuda are ready to go to snatch that away and force a decisive Game 5 so we can ruin Mother's Day for all our moms.
My mom is flying to Zurich on Thursday, so I got all the time in the world for playoff Game 5 hockey here. So let's go!
So let's be honest here. Who's hosting on Sunday then? That guy. If need be. Or maybe Ian will do it since it is a Sunday afternoon game. So all right, but before we get to a Sunday show, we got to get to a Wednesday. And Game 4 Wednesday, 6 p.m. local time here on the West Coast, 7 p.m. Mountain. If you're in Ian's part of the world, it is 9 p.m. there. So we'll be back with you following that game, hopefully for a Barracuda win to extend this series, and a lot more after that. So until then, thanks for watching. Keep it real, keep it teal, keep it real teal. Have a great night, everyone. We will see you on Wednesday night.